this time, the chair will recognize Senator Alma Francis Heiliger. You're recognized for 3 minutes.
Good morning to my colleagues, to the people of the territory, to the testifiers, central staff, and my staff alike. First, I would like to thank you for coming before us to share your information. I am one of those senators that do get annoyed when we have to hear this and then vote the same day. I'm not too keen on that. I'm not putting it on you or anybody, but I don't really like that. But I want to share and ask some questions in regards to, you said that you're requesting or encouraging the legislature to continue to pay the offset for the insurance. If the legislature were not to go ahead with that, what would be the cost increase to the employees?
So I will let Mr. Christian answer.
Okay.
Christian, give the number.
Good morning. We would anticipate that the cost for the employees would increase in excess of $100 per paycheck.
Okay, so about $100 extra per paycheck.
Yes.
Okay. I know you just said we have an awesome plan. Did we try to increase or negotiate anything to do with dental health?
Your dental plan just went up
Yes,
higher
I know.
than what it is. So,
what are the benefits?
the benefits are when we came before the body last year, you were one of the senators
Yes.
that said
That's what I want you to
$1,200 ain't enough. We need to go up. It's up to $1,500 now. So the services that you had, you can go now. You still get your 2 dental cleaning free. So the more you get that done and completed, the following year you get $200 added on to that in that service. Bear in mind, because we don't have a network of dentists, we can't force the dentist to comply with the fees that Cigna have. So majority of them are gonna do
Yes.
out of network, because then they could bill what they want and we have no control.
I am aware.
So those that are there, you still have your benefits that's there. Your
Okay.
fillings, your caps, everything.
Okay. One of the reasons where I recognize, I'll use myself as example. Earlier this year, I had an injury when I was at Government House, my knee has a fracture. And for the first time, I probably have utilized my insurance quite a bit because of this injury. And one of the things I recognize in dealing with some of the individuals that are in network, out of network, and even some of the doctors that do utilize Cigna, is you get a lot of different information. Is there a way that from a marketing standpoint, or even letting the employees know what are the proper standards, where you would give solid information to the public that they could sometimes defend themselves if something is said to them inside of the doctor's office that is not accurate or not accurate? How do you get them that information?
Okay, so there's several answers to that, and then at the end, I'm gonna pass it on to the chief,
Okay.
Miss Daly. So one division of personnel does have monthly meetings with the HR, and they disseminate the information from the carriers to give to the members on their plan, what is afforded to them.
Okay.
You can also go on mycigna.com, and on there, your benefit summary, what is allowed, what is not allowed, is also there. And part of the Cigna team, we have Patty Van Zen, who is the provider relations person that goes out. So if you call, whether it be DOP or you call the Cigna on-site rep office, both on St. Croix and St. Thomas, they will send Ms. Van Zen out to that provider. This is the information you're disseminating that's incorrect,
Okay.
and to fix it. So Ms. Daly?
Time.
What we do, we normally have, every year we have open enrollment where we communicate the benefits. What we're also encouraging the directors and the commissioners to allow us to come out, the group health insurance staff, to come out and speak to the members concerning their benefits. Because we are aware that a lot of our members are not aware of what the plan covers. So we want to come into various agencies and just, discuss what the plan covers.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the couple of additional time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Francis Heiliger. Next, we'll recognize Senator Franklin D. Johnson. Your debate time, Senator Alma Francis Heiliger. You're recognized for your 2 minutes.
Thank you. Good afternoon to my colleagues, to the people of the territory, Good afternoon to the nominees. I rise in support of both of these nominees. I had an opportunity to listen and watch and see exactly what had been discussed and many questions that were asked of them. I was very happy with some of their responses. It is my hope that these individuals, Mr. Lionel Sherwood, who is nominated for the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority, entity that we have been having quite a bit of issues with, especially this past week with the rotations. I hope that the addition of himself to this board is going to assist the people of the territory when you have new, fresh minds coming on board. Ultimately, it is the goal for us to have lower costs here in the territory, but at the end of the day, we need individuals that understand this process and can make the necessary changes. I would also like to say my support for Mr. Angel Dawson Jr. I have known him for quite a bit of years. I know he's more than capable of being a member of the GRS Retirement System Board, and it is my hope that with him being there, that we could continue to see advancement within our retirement system. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the time.
Thank you very much, Senator Francis Heiliger. 3-minute debate time. Senator Alma Francis Heiliger, you're recognized for your 3 minutes at this time.
Thank you. Good afternoon once again to my colleagues, to the people of the territory. I rise in support of these leases and zonings as it relates to the District of St. Thomas St. John, specifically in regards to Dave Trucking Services. We also had some lease agreements in regards to Dima Mo's Fresh Market, as well as Petras Properties. As we continue to look at these leases and support for economic development and continued expansion of businesses here in the territory, I listened, I read through the documents, and I am in full support of these 3 leases. As it relates to the District of St. Croix and consideration of these zoning changes, we had committee of the whole, and we were able to listen. One of these specific pieces, Bill 35-0134, their issue had to do with trying to rebuild something that was there before and potentially be able to put back the marina. I am in full support of that. We also had 35-0136, where these individuals wanted to expand their business, and 35-0138, where the individual before us talked about not only economic development, but home development here in the territory, specifically the island of St. Croix. I am in full support of all of these measures, not only to deal with the expansion, but specifically to help our people with building during this time after these hurricanes, as well as making sure the continued economic development of both of our districts. So thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for the time. Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Senator Francis Heiliger. Back up. At this time, Senator Alma Francis Heiliger, you're recognized for your 3 minutes.
Good afternoon once again to the people of the territory, to my colleagues, to individuals that are looking on. First of all, I rise to speak on Bill 35-0140. Earlier today, we had individuals testifying on the insurance for the Virgin Islands. While they were able to make adjustments in some areas, I did have concern about last year in increasing dental allotments. My concern still has to do with making sure that these things come before this body in a timely manner. When you're asking me as a senator to make a decision on a contract basically that's millions of dollars to benefit the people of this territory, but I'm getting information hours before I have to make a vote, I think we as a body has to ask the executive branch to make sure that these documents are here in this body in a timely manner so we could go through them and make better informed decisions. I also would like to rise in support of Bill 35-0082. I have never fully understand, even when I was in school, I never understood when you told a child that I am not going to educate you as a punishment. I've never fully processed it because I understand that sometimes children have issues and they do certain things, but to tell them that we're going to take away your education to punish you makes zero sense to me. There are other alternatives in order to teach children that what they might have done in error, to whether you keep them in homeroom, whatever you have to do, there are other alternatives that we could come up with instead of suspension or expulsion. And this piece of legislation in dealing with them, especially at an early age, I think is timely, and we should not ever put children in situations like that, especially those at the young age, and they're still attempting to learn and coming to themselves. The other two pieces of legislation, 35-0073 and 35-0083, I did hear in committee. These had to do with an attempt to potentially separate the Horse Racing Commission. I did hear the testimony in regards that originally the motive for merging them as one territorial committee had to do with it having one promoter at the time, but seeing that this has been separated, they would like to separate the commission. I am not in support of this because we have not had any type of horse racing yet. We haven't started the process, and if we made the effort to combine them, I am of the mindset that we should at least make the effort to see that it does work before we dismantle it again. It's almost like you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater without even giving it a bath. And I don't think that is the right thing for us to do. I think we need to give it a chance. And if we see that it's not going to work, then you make adjustments to the law. So I cannot support these two. I am in full support of horse racing, but I am not for separation. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Senator Francis Heiliger. A privilege, Senator Francis Heiliger.
Thank you. I just want to put on the record that while I listen to many of my colleagues speak about making sure that horse racing and listening to the horsemen, I attended that hearing. While the horsemen in the District of St. Croix said they wanted it, the District of St. Thomas, St. John said they didn't care once the rules and regulations were equal across the board. And I just want to make note that while we are here championing listening to the horsemen, we should have maybe done a better job of listening to the people of this territory when they said they did not want to give away Whistling Key. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senator Heiliger. Again, and at this time, Alma Francis Heiliger, you're recognized for your 2 minutes.
Thank you. Good afternoon once again to my colleagues, to the people of the territory. I rise in support of 35-0170. For me, it's an honor when we take the time out to honor those that protect us and really make sure that these territories are guarded in a way as it relates to the Virgin Islands National Guard in celebrating and commemorating their 50-year anniversary. So I look forward to having that passed. I also rise in support of 35-0171, where we're attempting to appropriate some leftover funds from various projects, as well as to make sure that the $25 million retroactive pay is included so that our government employees, whether such, can get the necessary funds that they so rightfully deserve. As I will say, as I went through this entire budget process, in regards to these pieces of legislation, I have to say that it was a learning process this year again, and I would like to thank Central staff along with my staff for assisting me in many ways. Sometimes it was a struggle for me. I am not sure if all of my colleagues are aware that being the only senator in the institution that is not on the Finance Committee and does not have a vote, as well as being the only non-member of the Rules Committee and don't have a vote. And when these bills come to the Senate floor, they're closed. I do not have an opportunity to amend other than listening to what other senators say. So I hope in the future that this institution makes some adjustment to accommodate for that one senator that is neither on the Finance or the Rules Committee, because I'm not even sure if it's legal to block a senator from even having the ability to amend amend bills. So I'm hoping that that's something that we could look at and correct in the future, because that one senator left out should not be in a situation where they are not having a voice. That is not what we're elected for. So thank you very much, and I will vote accordingly when the time comes.
Thank you very much, Senator Francis Heiliger. Point of personal privilege, Senator Francis Heiliger.
Thank you. I just wanted to put on the record some of my concerns. I know it's one thing to put out one narrative to the public, but I'm an individual that deals in reality. I am very much concerned as to this imaginary policy as to where some individuals can and cannot be invited. We live in a modern day age that if we are not able to attend a meeting, they're all recorded and we could watch them on television, whether we are ill or not ill. And in addition, I'm very much concerned with the narrative because when I attempted to attend that very meeting, the finance chair told me I wasn't invited. So it's one thing when you want to give the public one perception, but I sat here and I didn't even bring it up. Since she chose to bring it up, please tell the public the facts. She did not even want to share with me the information as a member of this institution. So if you're going to say one, say two.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. At this time,